2 lines of ink quickly appeared. It is the 6 ghosts. Even if the girl is the legendary master, you must die here too. Probably the best every time. Is cruel and treacherous? Put your opponent on a new death path. To feel the danger, the woman in front of you immediately walked away. Release all the gas. Just for a moment, most likely, you feel a force. Korean is the chi-chi vowel. Probably the most immediate lightning. The whole business cried out to the billion-dollar department. The woman who heard the cry was stunned. 2 incredible eyes looking at the person in front of you. Probably the most aggressive personality, biting lips. He did not want to reveal his identity so soon. The chance she lost focus. Turn people disappear in the night. Just leave the facility standing motionless in place. In my eyes full of confusion. The quiet night. Outside Hovu City, in a small forest. Most likely, I have an appointment here. To trade. But that, even the devil would not expect that. Behind him there is a tail. This man followed behind him for a long time. I also want to see if the other person has a problem. What is the real status of the department? Maybe you can chisel fat water. Convenient to find the clues of the jade Bodhi. The best of both worlds. That his body wears Sam's pretty clothes. Are hiding in the dark. Keep your eyes on the bottom. The department a path to follow him here. She also wants to see this guy steal from you. What is the purpose? Suddenly this time, most likely, the eyes look into the darkness. Slowly, people come to the meeting place. On the contrary, I was late. Look at these bodhisattvas. People don't want to either. It's better if we take it. He just finished. A graceful body accordingly stepped out. The prince's angry tone. I don't think you're in such a hurry. You can't even wait. If you really dare to take this away. They are afraid of getting you out of trouble. Probably the easiest laugh. There's a little hubris in his voice. Of course I know. But you should remember. We're just a family of 3. If you want to fight, you will only destroy the nation. Your son really knows how to talk. Give me the goods. Probably the most. Take the wooden box to the bar. The 2 eyes stared at the old lady's expression. You should consider carefully. If there is any mistake, do not blame it on your head. Listen to your voice. Hand open the box of death to cover the mouth. Smile is not wrong. This is the long tail of the long tail. We are bodhicitta. Master, you are doing very well. Most likely, her expression was in her eyes. Take a deep look at her. Of course you know this is fake. But still want to steal. This is to deceive the devil. Of course she just finished. Strictly appear from the darkness. Laugh for 2 hours. Probably most people look at you. Pretending to be naive. Take a few steps back or ask someone. Strictly not paying attention. He walked straight to the spot of chin. She looked at the wooden box in her hand with contempt. The son of a bitch fights with us. I didn't look at the old man again. I forgot so quickly. It's just the right time for you to fall asleep. I think you can probably pretend to think a little bit. I was hurt by you. That's when Lao Tzu slammed his son seriously. Then he attacked Lao Tzu. That's your son of a bitch. It's very cold. Last time I gave you a little bit of training. It doesn't count as stealing. I'm sure most people hear that. Again, a guy who likes to dress up in a bad smile. The old man is not ashamed. Sneaking is sneaking. I can't even admit it. My age is so big. He used his disciples to beat me. There's really nothing left to say. I can't believe it. Electricity is also one of the 7. To hit one. He heard the face immediately reborn. Everyone trembled with anger. One side of me saw him like that. Cover your mouth and laugh for an hour. To advise him to be less angry. Young man, straight love. Don't keep your mouth shut, don't get angry. The devil gave him a way back. He is also not easy to search. Very quickly put the force of attention to the wooden box on the hand. Frequency Tai Than, turn to her and tell her to take it out. When he heard that, he immediately handed the wooden box to him. But right now, I can see the object in my eyes a little bit. Then one of the chefs beat the wooden box to pieces. Tattooed look at this scene. In suspicious eyes. Seriously, what is this for? A face full of anger. He looked at the genie and said the object was fake. It's not basically bodhicitta inside. How can you? Bodhisattva is stored in the protection of the... She's in hiding again. There is no reason to be swapped. Probably is. End words. She turned her eyes to the most wicked man. I suppose you, even if you are not ashamed, you can move forward and backward. I don't think about this kind of person. To steal the bodhicitta. Most likely, one side hurt her. A smile says you doubt me. Then she wants to slander him. To preserve the flower for a long time. So serious. Nor will she be held accountable. But pay attention to him. She on one side will win. I have just protected the true bodhicitta. It's not hard to be serious. This sale is too profitable. She sacrificed only one family. On the contrary, it can protect the safety of long-lasting flowers. Unfortunately, she took the wrong step. She didn't know for sure. Most people know how to resign. She was seriously threatened. They also know the difference between the two. So right now, who's the chicken, who's the grain, I don't know. Probably the coldest laugh in my heart. At the very least, he is the owner of a long dance. And a king of medicine alone. The devil can deal with them very easily. But now suddenly it happened. Tan Tai then turned his face to the serious. Allow your fights towards him. He is not on guard. She didn't have time to avoid it. Mouth spitting out a large sip of blood. 130 for gas voltage. Tongue was seriously injured by a lawyer of Chin Tai. It's hard to get up from the ground. His eyes filled with hatred towards her. Grinded teeth said, "You dare to betray the old man." Probably most people look at this scene and immediately stop. This guy doesn't want to be a dead man. Instead of dancing long they sow. So this is the wrong guess. Once again, he looked at the old man and shook his head. Of course, a woman's heart is like a needle at the bottom of the tank. I guess not. This time she turned around. I want to beat the king of medicine. It is better to stay out of sight. The fisherman doesn't want to. I see she didn't answer. Clean the blood on your mouth and say yes. The frequency you do not forget. Your life is in the hands of the old man. When I want you to die, you must die. You want to come back with me. Frequency Ty Bar proudly raised his head. After all, she is a genius. Is a long-time owner of a long dance. It's not always. They are also humble in front of others. The frequency of the sound in the eyes is clearly visible. Seriously, you should remember. Your grandmother is the oldest dance master. HOA bar owner. Frequency Tai Than. Your grandmother risked her life. I will not give you a long dance. The most likely to hear this is to be stupid. Tai Bar in mouth. The rumors of the world are easy to come by. Sage thuck decency. This is the first time I saw her. Such a vulgar tongue. It's true that forcing dogs shouldn't be the same thing. Her now is to take out the atmosphere and confront the serious. Do it with a little respect. Looking at the woman with her chest standing tall at the sky in the face shows contempt. Just a woman like you. You can kill the old man or sow. So let's give it a try. You won my grandmother's pearl. Injured heart. It's probably more than half closed. He was also unable to use the weapons. 7 Hai Van La Chuang. Seriously, today is your birthday. Even if he was poisoned to death. I have no regrets. I just finished the speech again. Turn to seriously. In my hand there's a blue light. Hit down again. But this time I have a serious case. Even if you were injured, he wouldn't let her win either. Seriously look at the person coming. My mouth is laughing. Then in the hand also the Attorney General. To catch a lawyer beating down. Tay Tai most vocal autumn. Her body shook one. Do not spit out blood. This blood fell to the ground. It's a dark black that shows signs of corrosion. Of course she was poisoned. Seriously see this scene. The corner of my mouth is a little angry. The cold. By the way, who should you think the old man is? Look at your hands. The old man is called the medicine man. From top to bottom you are the poison of the world. You think that there's only 7 kinds of drama out of 7. That can intimidate the celestial masters of your family. If that's really the case, the old man can also be the master of otherworld. It's so scary. Bad girl, stupid woman. It's something that doesn't know how to live and die. Now the old man will finish him off. Avoid trouble later. End your serious words and raise your hand. A chef's. He's on his knees on the ground. She looked down at her hand. There are signs of poisoning in the eyes. Shrinkage in the heart shows no commitment. Look seriously, tongue is coming. You may have to die here today. But right now, I can see in the dark that the situation is not right. Immediately embodied plunge into the ring of war. Stop this one. Seriously, he was injured earlier. It is not a rival of the department at this time. Not in time to be forced back. Spat out a sip of blood again. Most likely, the girl Sam appeared. In his eyes came a ray of joy. Pretend to be naive and say that the department. Why are you here? I know. It turns out you're always following behind me, right? The officer turned his eyes and laughed for an hour. To steal the treasures of our long-standing flower. Maybe not even let me follow you. The most likely thing to hear about this is that it's a whole book. Make the kid scream loudly. Is Sao Billion Base is also the people of the Sao Long dance. So you are the owner of a long time, in the 15 floors of the flower. Billionaire agency this has nothing to do with. We are just being forced. It's her. She's your spy. Just arrest her. Don't look for me at all. Department of Hearing. Why explain? I can't help but cry and laugh. Knock one on the forehead. Say the name of your devil. I don't have the courage to do this. Even if I take you seriously, it's not unfair. She said she went to get the thunder. And look at the people coming. The corners of her eyes flushed weakly. I'm sorry that you sold out for a long time. Seriously, they are being beaten back now. She looked coldly at the woman who had just arrived, laughing and saying martial arts legend high and new yet decided. The owner of Ho Long. The tendency to. You finally showed up. I don't know your current situation. Has it changed well? Do you need the old man's help or not? What? Your sister-in-law is. The owner of Ho Long dance floor tends to be Sao. I can probably hear you out loud. She looked at the female body in front of her. Even if he vaguely guesses her fate, it is related to the long dance. But 1,000 times I didn't expect it. She is the perfect woman. Total Long owner of HOA Long Dance. Except 135 total long-term owner HOA long-term basis inclined to become. Probably in my heart I don't understand. She is the owner. Why is it in the Kier slums? In his heart is not free from resentment. It's amazing how stupid you can be. She was named the first American woman. You look great. Except for the tendency to raw. Who's more beautiful? See that. In a moment to see the face of the facility. He couldn't keep calm as usual. We can't keep the most accurate judgment. I don't believe there will be a day. We'll be mesmerized by a woman's power. It's losing its own reason. The tendency to be right now. I don't pay attention to your eyes. She wants to heal the sick. Should leave it around. She quietly took out a porcelain vase. Gently opened the lid. Immediately put into the mouth of the Thai bar a drop. Hold on to her life. To softly raise the frequency of Thai bar. The light in my eyes. I know that you are very loyal to God. I'm really sorry I'm the owner of the building and I can't help it. Let you suffer. One moment, he opened the lid of the vase. Eyes have lit up. Emit the rays of greed. In his mouth endlessly muttered the jade Bodhi. Just for a moment, Bodhi jade liquid flows into the mouth. Her life is constantly showing signs of strength. The poison in her slowly disappeared. The hands also returned to white. I'm sure you can't help but notice this one. Life as giant has. This was the first time he had seen the jade. Of course, it is so harmful. It's a pity he hasn't got it back. Let it waste a drop. In the heart of resentment, he is still thinking, how can I get it back in my hands? It's not just the serious guy. At the same time, I want to take it back. He licked his lips and looked at the room and said ha ha ha. It's a magical elixir. It's a miracle. Let's negotiate a little. Now the old lady Kier has passed away. The long dance is owned by you. It's not as if you gave it to the old man. The old man gave you the antidote. After a long dance, you can also live in peace. To listen to him. In his eyes came a cold, angry light. The root of the flower, we are the wise ones. You want it, I want the pharmacy. It can poison the world. Why do you dream? We are also one of the 7 nations. You thought I was your tricked 3-year-old. Say it again. You and I have a deep hatred. Seriously, she doesn't compromise. Let's talk about the previous life. I can't help laughing. Ha ha ha. The old woman didn't know the time to die was right. The old man advised him not to follow that car wreck. I'm going to hear that, and my face is red with anger. To grips tightly to the right. This time, after the jade. The genie could stand up. It's almost out of him. She stands parallel to the city. The angry face looked at him seriously. I think he was hurt by me. He is unable to use martial arts. Now the 2 of us join forces. I can handle that demon. I can't help but hear it. She knows the other owners are still under his control. If you really kill him now, they will die too. She didn't have the heart to say that, but sister. If the owners are poisoned, why? The frequency of course knows. But she doesn't want to either. He has been in control for a long time. He said coldly. The future of dance is long. Let's say we've lost 15 floors. It's not a pity. Be a player. If we miss today, if you get drunk, you will have no chance to deal with this thief. Because the old woman took revenge. It's like being awakened by these 2 words of revenge. The trend is finally clear. In the eyes appear, I am looking forward to seeing you speak. Stay out of the way, be careful about getting hurt. Probably standing on one side watching the play. They were named by someone else. Glad to hear you stand aside. They fight well too. He can both watch the excitement and make a profitable fisherman. Be a master of the sky fight scene. As important as the second paragraph, you should not interfere. Just stand outside as if it's best for you. His eyes breathed deeply. Look at the 2 women in front of you, 2 hands on the side of the sinister laugh. Your old master, do not regret it. Not to eat the devil. I will regret it for the rest of my life. Die, devil. It was cold for an hour. Kick your feet down, looking up, fly straight to the opposite side. She saw her hand. Also at the same time. 3 masters of the sky. Go into battle. I think most people look at this one and smile. He also doesn't count. Silently standing next to waiting. Suddenly right at this moment, a lightning bolt fell from the sky. Between 3 people. Seriously, tilt your head away. Look at the person coming. It makes an old sound. Head office. You guys have forgotten this old man. According to the sound emitted, 3 images appear at the same time. The leader is an old man with only one eye. On his shoulder appeared a black crow, followed by a male and a female. He looked at the 3 people who shouted for 9 minutes. But most likely, I can see it holding my forehead. So many people know you here. A few days ago, there was a heavenly weight of the servant's sword. Now there are the dragons of your potential. He looked at the old man with one eye. On the face gradually stopped the eyes. Long 9. I don't think you can bring back the magic. Long 9 heard a small laugh. It's been a long time since I've seen a doctor. 136 Long eyes 9. Long 9 nodded. Laugh for an hour, like the blessing of a little brother again. Find the title of Dragon 9. He later met the King of Medicine. You don't have to be afraid anymore. The King of Medicine heard the sudden trembling. In my heart silently scolding. Long 9 has returned. It can be said that the enemy is serious. So he's still a little shy about this guy. He couldn't help but touch the lake on his side. It's a Long 9. You want to be with 2 girls. Deal with old man Sao. Stop the 2 of you looking at each other. Then glanced at Long 9 motionless sharp. Long 9 saw this action. His eyes widened slightly. And then laugh and talk. Seriously, don't get me wrong. Long 9, I came this time to advise you. We are all guests of the dragon boat. There should also be the appearance of the guest. Guests with the owner form a group. What else can I do? Seriously, hear this word. He noticed that the stairs went down, and Long 9 left him. Smiling for 2 hours, send the elders to make sense. Serious tongue. We're not a class of people who don't understand reason. This time, I'm not going to go after the nonsense of these 2 young girls anymore. It's just these 2 girls if you don't ignore them. The old man also ran out of ways. They tend to bite their lips aggressively. Look at Long 9. As Long 9 turned towards her, shaking his head. The chief intervened. She has no way. We have to miss this opportunity. He sighed with a serious cold. This time I will spare you a life. I hope you are a little honest. Don't mess with the dance for long. I seriously heard him laugh for an hour. Lift your feet up into the air. I saw him gradually disappear. Everybody just breathed out a breath. Tattooed is not satisfied. Looking towards Long 9, blame 9 end. Why did you stop us? Forgive him. Maybe you've forgotten your grandmother's grudge. She looked at Long 9 a little. Then patting her on the shoulder, Tython said, Sister got it wrong. That's what saved us a life. I can hear this word a little incomprehensible. Look at Long 9. Long 9 saw that, and the doctor shook his head and sighed. In eyes full of weight. King Tongue's poison. This is the same class as me. The old man knows him best. He's a much scarier character than the lower demons. This time we will do it arbitrarily. You can only pay for your life in vain. The sound can be heard. But I hit him and got hurt. Long 9 faceful, seriously, slowly shaking his head. Did you notice the hole in his waist? The old man saw him many times. I've never seen him wear this. Surely there's fraud in it. This person looks very arrogant, but carefully thought out. Even the 7 Kier demons do not dare to arbitrarily. His owner. It's too risky for you to go out today. Long 9 teachings. Tired and tired at the same time looking at each other. Now you to realize just how dangerous it is. On the face appeared a ray of appreciation. But the feud with the pharmacy. With a long dance, it is impossible not to count. The poor man is not willing to ask. But 9 ends. There's really no way to deal with that thief. Long 9 gently stroked the beard in his eyes. Deeply worried sigh. Unless that brother of mine is here. Maybe there'll be a way. Do people tend to hear a little startled? Who is the brother of Long 9? Most likely, people standing on one side can't help but wonder. 10 brothers in Long 9's mouth are not IDs. But the 2 dragons and the Long Kneeling heard about it. I know exactly who Long 9 is talking about. Long Kneeling, she has always sewn for the best face. That's not exciting. 9, whatever you do, just mention that boy. It's not about killing a demon. You've been flying him up in the sky for months. Now the whole potential is not. I don't know if that boy is your brother. The devil is jealous of him. You killed a demon 7 years ago. Who could have killed that demon but him? Don't tell me to be his brother. Even if you ask him to do it. It's no problem. You tend to hear that. Your eyebrows are furrowed. She seemed to vaguely guess Ra. Who is the person Long 9 mentioned? She spoke suspiciously and asked 9 people. What are you talking about? Is that the guy who's been buzzing lately? The devil must be evil. Long 9 nodded with a look of appreciation. Even in the 7 worlds. It's a rare form of genius. It's like my office. That brother can also stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Long Kneeling disgruntled against what genius? He's the one with the violence that goes where he kills. The devil shook his head again. That's not true. Whether you accept it or not. They all have to admit, now, no matter the potential. We are stronger or stronger than all of us. Although the work is a little aggressive. But it's absolutely comparable. 6 longest servants of the 7 kingdoms. Especially in terms of murder. Maybe the 7th grade couldn't have been better. Long 9 heard endlessly praise nodding. Master is right on point. But Long knelt on one side disgruntled. Come to the side of the department to embrace this wing. She resentfully said, what's the point? That boy. It can be compared to the male-oriented ones. Yeah. Most likely standing next to Pout. It's not the point at all. He's obviously been saving a lot. I have been in the dance for so long. They don't reveal the truth. He is always aggressive. She looked at the lady next to her. Laughing, patting her hand. Look again at Long 9. In my eyes full of hope. Probably this. It's really capable of killing the king of Sao. Long 9 heard the idea. Her words softened for a moment and shook her head. The old man is not sure. The old man is just guessing. But if later, the real king died in the hands of a man, that person is more than half of this brother. The base tends to be an inverted eye with two flashing rings of light. I don't know what to think. I really want to meet my genius brother. Have AO2 this one time? Next, invite you to dance for a long time. Then everyone's going in the same direction. Because this is the festival of Whole Long Dance Master. You have to arrange for guests to come. So the long 9 people were opened by her. Take it back to the dance. Most likely, watching everyone leave. Smiling and moving in the opposite direction. Want to quietly disappear. But the city didn't give him a chance. He just turned around and was caught by her. A long way to the flower. The silent night. They're all one way from the forest. Very quickly returned to the dance. Right now, most likely, they were brought back by the police themselves. I'm in the conference room with the owner. And long-term application form in addition to Don private. I look at the 4 women in front of me. Silently finished life, the 3 mysterious masters of the dragon boat. They are all in front of you. It's like a fish in a pot. Every step must be careful. Acceptance 137 Conspiracy. At the same time, the owner saw the most evil. Brought back to the city. In a very suspicious heart. Don is now in the room. He also stared at her. Detect half a day. She suffered under his hands twice. But she doesn't hate this person at all. The worst of all, one side, I can feel the staring eyes of Don. It bothers me to shout for an hour immediately. What to look at? If you look, I'll pluck out your eyes. I can hear the scream of the devil. Afraid to step back. The old man saw his disciples suffer. Personality covered defects immediately emerged. Loud towards why. Where did the poor boy come from? Dare to go wild in the dance for a long time. Don't look where this is. I don't care where it is. You can't let a guy look at you. You can't be dishonest like that. Something that looks falsely. Most blameless aggressive anger. Point your hand towards the sand. Stand there. Look at her to eyes. Look at me. You're about to see through me. He is still dressed. That stared so furiously. This is not called cheating. What do you mean? The face immediately flushed. Uncontrollably crouched face to the ground. That the 3 lords of Whole Long Dance. He was also very dissatisfied with his words. Although Sao is also the one who tends to bring back. She tried to stop the jade from speaking. Whole. Most likely, the public will speak up. He immediately changed his face and became an obedient boy. Yes, billion department. Current why, I still want to get the gold from you. You have to pretend to be naive in front of her. Can't be revealed. If you don't put salt in the sea these days, nothing has been achieved. It's like the long-form owner heard this name. You know his identity. Hot temper resurfaces. Song Ngok raped my children. Then Ra was the one who let me find you. The most unprofitable. Everybody knows this place has a tendency to be the owner. If you have her as a base, you are not afraid of the form. So don't be too scared. That's who I am. The street is clear as day. You don't know the virtue of the disciple, how spoiled she sow. The flower's form trembled a few words. Even though she covers her flaws,